everyone, and welcome to episode 98 of the Giddy Knits podcast. As always, I am Helen and I am coming to you from Dundee in Scotland, where I live with my husband Tom and my two boys, Arthur, who is 7, and Jasper, who is 4. Today is Tuesday the 20th of July, and for anyone that is new and doesn't know who I am the dyer behind Giddy Yarns. And this is my crafting podcast, where I mostly talk about whatever crafts I've been working on in the time in between episodes, which in this case has been quite a significant amount of time. Regular viewers will know that I have just moved house, or we have just moved house as a family. And that is why we're in a very different environment for the podcast. And why I've not recorded an episode recently. This episode is also going to be quite different to a normal episode. So if you are a new viewer and you want to see what my regular episodes are like, then I would suggest going back a couple of episodes and watching from there. But I just wanted to come on and catch up because we've got some make-alongs that have ended and I need to announce prize winners. And I've got one finished object to share with you and a bit of yarny goodness. And then I just thought I would chat a little bit about our move and things like that. So let's get into it, shall we? First of all, new environment. I haven't really found a spot to set up for podcasting properly at the moment. I am currently in the garage, which is becoming my office and dye studio space. I will give you a little tour of it at the end of the episode. I'll put a couple of little vloggy bits in at the end. I was having some issues with my camera doing crazy autofocus things. It obviously didn't like the fact that the background behind me is actually quite bright. I think I've turned the autofocus off, so it should just be focused on me and it won't keep doing that backwards forwards thing. But if it does start doing that again, then apologies for that. But yeah, we're getting there. As I said, I haven't found a proper spot to podcast yet. The boys are home because it's school holidays up in Scotland, so nursery and school are currently off. And as with that, there isn't really a spot in the house that I could record a podcast without getting completely disrupted by them. I'm likely to get disrupted by them anyway, but we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping to work out a space, work it out. I mean, this is all right. Maybe I need to move the camera a little bit so that you can't see the edge of the garage door and the curtain bit that I've put up to kind of separate off the dyeing area. But it'll do for now. There's also a big empty space that shouldn't be empty, but the box that lives there currently has Advent colourways in it, so you are not allowed to see it. So I've put it down on the floor. Right, shall we get into something? Shall we start with prize winners? We had 2 knit-alongs running, make-alongs running. One of which is still ongoing, and that is the Giddy Yarns make-along, which is my ongoing make-along where anything that you've knit that uses at least 50% of my yarn, so uses at least 50% of Giddy Yarns, is eligible for entries. And don't forget about it, because we didn't have that many entries this quarter. So if you are knitting with my yarn and you finish anything, then don't forget to enter it. You can enter on Instagram, you can enter on Ravelry, and you can also enter in our Mighty Networks group. All the details and all the ways to enter will be listed down below underneath the video. But I have drawn 2 prizes for the Giddy Yarns make-along for quarter 2. We had entries in all 3 places, and for both the make-alongs, what I did is I took the Ravelry entries as entries 1 to whatever. I then went through Instagram, made sure there weren't any duplicate posts, and took the number of Instagram entries and added them on next. I then went into Mighty Networks and again cancelled out any duplicate posts and put in the number of entries on Mighty Networks and added them on at the end. And then I just drew, using random number generator, numbers 1 to however many there were. Annoyingly, I don't have the piece of paper with me that tells me how many entries there were for the Giddy Yarns make-along. But there was only around 20 something for this quarter. So prize-wise for the Giddy Yarns make-along, what I am going to do is the two winners. If you get in contact with me, then you can pick a skein of yarn from the shop, or if there's a colourway that you particularly wanted that on a different base, then you can do that through dye to order. So basically you can get a 100-gram skein of yarn or anything that's currently in stock in terms of a similar. So you could get like a mini bundle or a sock set or a skein of yarn or, you know, something like that, basically, from my website. If what you're after isn't currently in stock, then I will dye up for you. That makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so we have two winners. The first was entry number 17, which was an Instagram entry, and that is Ceeb Knits, Ceeb Knits on Instagram. You didn't have your real name on your Instagram profile, so I don't quite know what to call you, but I will put your name on the screen. With the Instagram entries, I will actually reach out to you in case, because I know some people sometimes use the Giddy Yarns FO hashtag just as a general thing and may not necessarily know that I use it as a make along as well. And then the second winner is entry number 9, which was a Ravelry entry, and that was Granny Susie Knits. So if both of you have heard this, then get in touch with me and I will sort out whatever it was you wanted as your prize. And interestingly, both of the winners had knit socks using my Honey and Acorns colourway, which is one of my Winnie the Pooh colourways. So I thought that was quite interesting that they'd both knit socks. There were lots of different things that had been knit using my yarn, but you'd both knit socks using the same colourway and you both won a prize. The second make along, which has now ended, I have closed the threads and it has ended. You got a good kind of half a month extra because of me moving and not being able to podcast. And that is the book along. And we had a really lovely amount of prizes donated for the book along. So I've actually got 6 prizes to give away. I think there were a total of 83 entries across Ravelry, Instagram and Mighty Networks. So that is amazing. And so the first prize, I think what I'll do is I'll share the prize and then I'll tell you who's won it and we'll just go through like that. So the first prize, I can't actually really show you, is this lovely skein of yarn that you can't see from Ellie at Craft House Magic. This is one of her music from the movies Sock Club colourways. It's actually the Top Gun colourway. I did share what this looks like earlier in a previous episode because she very kindly gifted it to me as a podcast prize at the same time that I had ordered my one. So I opened and shared my one. Now my one is currently buried in my stash box, which is upstairs in our wardrobe, and Tom is working in the bedroom. So I didn't want to disturb him in order to do this. And I also don't want to open this because it's so nicely wrapped. So you will get a mystery unless you have watched my previous podcast. But the winner of this gorgeous sock set, oh, that's a bad one to pronounce badly, it was entry number 20, which was a Ravelry entry, and your Ravelry username is Ruatha. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you're Hilary in Australia. So congratulations, Hilary. You knit a lovely pair of socks. Drop me a message on Instagram or Ravelry or by email, any of those places. All of them should be linked down below. And I will get this in the post to you. We will organise for me to get this in the post to you as soon as I can. The second prize was this fantastic bag, which couldn't be more appropriate for our book along, make along. I just love this fabric. I really, really need to get in contact with Ez actually and get her to make me a bag in this as well. So this was very kindly donated from, oh, I turned off autofocus, hang on. Kindly donated from So Yarnalicious. And I will make sure that I link where you can find Ez's shop down below, so that if you want to get hold of one of her lovely bags yourself, you can. This one is beautiful. It's got a lovely handle. It's got poppers to keep it shut, and it's actually a really good size with a boxed bottom. Really lovely. And the winner of this one was post number 47, or entry number 47, who again, that was another Ravelry post, and that is Linda Shields, who is over in America. So again, drop me a message, Linda, to let me know that you've seen this, and I will get this in the post to you as soon as I can. And then the third prize was another donated prize. This one was very kindly donated by Eva, the organizer behind Perth Festival of Yarn, and this is Die Candy. Again, let me turn off the autofocus, or turn on the autofocus. This is Die Candy in the Sputnik Sweetheart colourway. It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at this colourway. Look at these speckles. This was a Perth Festival of Yarn exclusive for 2020. So you can't actually get hold of this anymore. And the wonderful winner of that was entry number 64, which was an Instagram entry, and that is Jane B55, I think it was, who is Jane in the UK. And she knit a gorgeous jumper inspired by the Hungry Caterpillar. And for a little one, I don't know whether it would be your son or your grandson. I didn't look in that much detail, but yeah, it was knit for a little one, and there was a gorgeous picture of him wearing it, and it looked really, really cute. So get in touch with me, Jane, again, via any of those places, and I will get your prize in the post to you. The fourth prize is a Giddy Yarns prize, which I have drawn out of my prize box. So these are my, in fact, this is the last set of these that I have left, the last set of Nostalgia Club mini skeins left to use as a prize. I believe these were my 1910s set. I haven't put a label on the back, but I think they were, because I'm pretty sure that was Crosswords, and that was Votes for Women, and that was the Christmas Day, I can't remember what it was called. Basically, World War I, when the soldiers had a little bit of a break from fighting on Christmas Day to stop. So, and I can't remember the names of the other two. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I can look it all up. It's fine. I've probably got sheets for it somewhere. I will send you the info with this. But the winner of this one was entry number 44, which was again another Ravelry entry, and that was Burrow Knitter, who is Julie, who is in the US. So again, Julie, get in touch and I will get these in the post to you as soon as I can. And then the last two prizes are both pattern prizes. So the lovely Anne of Thistle Glen Designs has donated one of her brand new patterns. It's called the Little Tranquility Shawl, which uses my Beth colourway and my Plum Chutney colourway, and is inspired by Beth of Little Women. So it was a perfect fit as a pattern prize. Let's just turn off that autofocus again. There we go. And the two winners of that were, so the first one was entry number 49, who was a Ravelry entry, and your username was Wool Hobby, and that is Linda in the Netherlands. So again, get in touch with me, Linda, and I will get Anne to send you over the pattern. I was about to say, if you can't use Ravelry, then we'll work out how, but you've entered on Ravelry, so I'm assuming Ravelry won't be an issue for your pattern to come to you via. And then the final winner was entry number 78, which was a Mighty Networks entry, and that is the lovely Stacey Silver, who knit a gorgeous, gorgeous blanket. So again, Stacey, get in contact and we will work out how to get the pattern sent over to you. Yeah, right, that's everything. That's all of the prizes, yes, and the knit along things. I am hoping to start another knit along relatively soon, possibly August. I'm hoping to do a joint knit along with a couple of friends. We just need to work out the details of what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. So I need to chase them up and see when they would like to start. Right, let me just rejig this desk slightly. Okay, I think that's everything. Right, so knitting content. I don't have a lot. I seem to have lost a little bit of knitting motivation over the last month. I'm sure it is just completely the stresses of moving, because it's just been absolute chaos. So I really haven't worked on very, very much at all. I'm just starting now as we're settling in and I'm easing back into work and stuff like that. I've just started to kind of pick up my knitting again. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of my project bags and kind of have a little look through all the projects in them, maybe rip a few things out, maybe kind of prioritize some things to finish and that kind of thing. But this week I have finished one thing. And that is my picnic blanket socks. So the picnic blanket socks is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It was part of the Sock Society. And I knit them using a skein of yarn from Henny Penny Makes called Faded Christmas. And I used, I'm not sure the name of the mini. I think it was from her Flower Power Fund minis. I just picked out this yellow mini because I thought it would go quite nicely. And these socks are quite a classic case of seeing the different tension. I mean, look at the difference in the feet of those two socks. You can tell that I'd finished this foot before we moved, but hadn't put the toe in yet. And I have knit this foot since moving. My tension is completely different. And just look how different the yarn looks with the different tension. It's really, really odd, isn't it? I love that. I always find it fascinating, kind of the difference that tension can make in the way that a yarn knits up. Particularly a yarn like this that's got quite a pooling effect, and knitting it at a completely different gauge makes that yarn pool completely differently. So yeah, really interesting to see how these came out. I've tried them on and they fit me fine. I'm not 100% sure how much I like this ruffled bit when I'm wearing it. Yeah, I'm really not sure. They were quite fun to knit. They were quite interesting to knit. But I'm not sure how comfortable I'm going to find this. So these may end up going in the gift box and getting gifted to somebody as a Christmas present, which would be appropriate considering their Faded Christmas is the colourway. But I have finished a pair of socks, so it's a good start. And I now have no socks on the needles, which means I need to have a little think about what socks are going to be on the needles next. I don't have any other knitting to share with you because I have literally worked on nothing else in pretty much the last month, really, at all. It's not good, is it? Well, maybe, when did I last podcast? Sunday... Oh, I don't know. I didn't write a date. Episode 97 was a Sunday, but I didn't write a date. It was in June sometime. So yeah, it's been pretty much a month. But as I said, I'm easing back into it slowly now. Although, having said that I've barely knit all month, I have actually got a fair bit of yarny goodness to share with you. So first off, I have got the July Yarn Club from Craft House Magic, which is her Music from the Movies sock club. And this is the colourway for July. And this is Everything I Do It for You, which was her Robin Hood inspired colourway. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and the song by Bryan Adams. I love the colour of this mini. Oh, let's turn that autofocus off again. Don't know why it's doing silly things. It's driving me mad today. I love the colour of that mini skein. That really kind of sagey green. I love that colour. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this. It's absolutely lovely. I'm really enjoying, I've said this before, I'm really enjoying this yarn club actually with all the different movies. And I love the little info sheet that you get each month as well, which kind of tells you about the movie and tells you a little bit about the songs and all of that kind of thing. So that's the first little bit of yarny goodness. Then the rest of it, the rest of the yarn is all from the same person, but actually came in 2 different deliveries. So first of all, the lovely Laura of The Lonely Knitter, who also has Crafter's Balm and Bumbling Yarns. If you know her or you follow her on Instagram, you'll know that she's had a bit of a rough month. She was very unwell and she ended up in hospital for quite a while, and she had to miss Yorkshire Yarn Fest And I couldn't resist when she had a big shop update once she was back home. I couldn't resist treating myself to some of her gorgeous yarn. So I picked up one skein of yarn and 2 sock sets. So I picked up this gorgeous skein of yarn, which is called Nancy Wheeler. It's a Stranger Things inspired colourway. There's Laura's lovely Bumbling Yarns logo. And it is just beautiful, isn't it? I love this. This is going to be a pair of socks at some point. It's so pretty. And then I also picked up a couple of sock sets because I fancied just some bright, colourful socks. I might just do like some shorty socks with these as well. They're 70-gram sock sets. So you get a 50-gram skein and a 20-gram mini. And they were all one of a kind. So they don't have colourway names, but they are super pretty. So this one is kind of greens. The colours are not coming across very well, I'm afraid. I'm under artificial strip lighting because the garage has strip lighting in, and I've not set my proper studio lights up, but it's so pretty. And I loved the fact that the mini skein was a speckled mini as well, because I think that's just going to be really, really fun. And then the second one is this gorgeous variegated craziness. I love this. Purples and greens and blues. And it's just going to be really fun to knit that up. And then she's got like a sort of tonal speckled light blue colourway to go with it. So that's going to be really, really fun as heels and toes. So I'm looking forward to knitting those up into some crazy fun shorty socks. And then Laura very, very kindly added an extra skein as a thank you for supporting her. And this is the skein she added in. This is Antique China on her merino singles base. It is so soft. It's such a gorgeous neutral as well. I can think of so many things to put with this. It is beautiful. I'm so sorry the lighting's not doing it justice. I will get myself set up at some point with somewhere that I can put my studio lights so that I can podcast and you can actually see things clearly again. And then the other thing that I got from Laura is her mini club, her scrappy club, which these are the colourways for. This is her Outlander club. I've not been ordering every month of Laura's Scrappy Club. Basically what she's been doing is you get, I think there's an option of 5-gram, 10-gram or 20-gram minis, but each month is inspired by a TV show. And I've just basically been picking and choosing the TV shows that I liked. So this is her Outlander minis and they are stunning. I'm loving these minis so much. I've been getting the 5-gram ones. And I think I've got 3 or 4 sets now and I can't decide what to do with them yet. I'm going to have a little think. I'm thinking maybe I'm just going to put them all into one blanket and just do like a Bumbling Yarns Scrappy Club blanket with all the different mini skeins. I've ordered her August ones, I think it's August, which are inspired by The Walking Dead, which if you know me, you'll know that I have a massive soft spot for anything to do with zombies. And yeah, The Walking Dead is possibly one of my absolute favourite TV series. So yes, I'm excited to have ideas for that, although I've got plenty of blankets that need finishing first. And then the final thing that I've received this week is a lovely gift, actually. A lovely viewer of the podcast and somebody I follow on Instagram reached out to me and said that they had been playing with their sewing machine, making something for their daughter, and they had worked out how to make something and they wanted to send it to me. And this is what arrived. This is an absolutely gorgeous project bag. And the reason she sent it to me is because she said she's finally worked out how to do a divided boxed bottom and create a barrier so that you can use it for 2 at a time socks. And if you have been watching the podcast for a while, you'll know that a little while ago, I was looking absolutely everywhere for places that I could get 2 at a time sock bags from. And they're not very common in the UK. It's very hard to find anywhere. I discovered that So now I've got to look this up. Gibby Rousseau's, although they don't have any on their website recently, they do apparently make them, so you can request to have them made. And the other place I found them was Quince Pie on Etsy, but they are pretty much the only places that I'd found that make 2 at a time sock bags with the divider in between. So this was such a lovely gift, and I can't wait. This will be used for my next pair of socks, definitely. In fact, I'm thinking of casting on a pair of shorty socks and a pair of normal socks, so I can use the 2 at a time bags that I've got. So thank you very much for that. I was blown away when I received it, and I am so excited to start using it. Oh, and she'd also popped a little lavender sachet. I thought I could smell lavender. I was like, why can I smell lavender? But she also popped a lovely little lavender sachet in there as well. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything that I've got to share with you in terms of crafty stuff and things like that. Hopefully by the next episode I will be set up a little bit more normally, and I will be able to share a little bit more knitting progress and crafting progress and things like that. I really want to get the yarn dyed, the minis. I need to get the minis dyed for the dragon, because my crochet dragon has stalled because I need to dye the minis for the next section. But I'm really hoping to get that done this week. We've got somebody coming, we've got a builder coming this afternoon to have a little look at the garage and give us an estimate, give us a quote on getting it properly converted. So I don't know that I've got time to get them on now. I'll see. I could always put them on this evening, actually, now that I have an integral garage and I don't have to leave the house in order to go out to the garage in the dark or in the winter. It's not winter, it's summer, but you know what I mean. I might be more inclined to put the odd bit on in the evening. Anyway, I'm going to leave the main podcast there for now. What I will do is I will stick in... I started to vlog a little bit when we were moving, and then it just got too chaotic and I just didn't manage it at all. But I have got a little video that I recorded sort of showing you around the house before we decorated. So I might add that in next. And then I've got a couple of pictures of kind of the boys' rooms once they were decorated and things like that. I would give you a tour now, but the house is a state because we're still in the process of kind of sorting things out, and we've both been working, and it's the school holidays. So the house is an absolute pigsty. But what I will do quickly is show you round the garage, so you can see kind of the setup of my new space as it is at the moment, and I can kind of give you an idea of what I want to do if we can afford to get it converted. Anyway, if you don't want to stick around for that bit, then that's absolutely fine. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will try, even if it ends up just being kind of this setup with not great lighting for a few weeks for the school holidays, I will try and be back on again next week for another little update, hopefully with some more knitting to talk about and some more crafting to talk about. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hello everyone. So I am in the new house. It might sound a little bit echoey because there's no furniture in here yet. It is Saturday today, so I didn't share any video footage or anything of the house yesterday, just because we were too excited kind of getting in and getting sorted. But we've been to Wickes this morning and picked up a load of paint, decided on some paint colours and stuff like that. A little more needs painting than we were hoping for, just because of kind of marks on walls left by furniture and left by kind of picture frames and stuff like that. When we looked round, it looked... those marks were hidden because they were behind furniture, which is fine, you know, not a problem. It just means that we're going to repaint the lounge, which we weren't planning on repainting, and we're going to need to repaint some more of the walls in Arthur's bedroom than we were expecting to need to paint, if that makes sense. But yeah, shall I show you around? So I'm standing in the hallway by our front door. There is a little porch out there, but I am not confident enough in front of new neighbours to record out the front of the house yet. But I will flip you around so that you can actually see a bit more. Okay, so here we go. This is our entranceway. As I said, there's just like a little porch out the front. There's some nice tiled floors. We've got a little downstairs toilet in there. Then in here we have the lounge. This was one of the rooms that we were hoping not to need to repaint, but as you can see, just where the furniture has been moved on this wall, it's quite marked. So we thought, seeing as we're repainting other rooms, we might as well repaint in here. All the windows have got these nice little glass bits and pieces. Oh look, the boys have already discovered their next door neighbours outside. Isn't that sweet? So yeah, this is the lounge. Little spin. Obviously it's all empty, so it's hard to kind of say anything at the moment. We're kind of trying to decide on colours at the moment. So I think the main walls are going to be this light grey, and then we want to do similar to how the room is now. We want to do kind of a feature wall. I'm leaning between these two. The dark grey is too dark, the blue is too bright. So I'm leaning between one of these two for the feature wall, but we haven't quite decided yet. Then we have a dining room. We just brought our camping stuff over so that we had somewhere to sit and drink tea. With French doors out into the garden, which I will show you in a minute. Then we've got kitchen and utility. Now the kitchen is a little bit small, but we kind of hope that the fact that we've got the utility room will make up for it. It's also a bit chaotic at the moment. They very kindly left their dishwasher, which is amazing because that was one of our kind of planned first purchases. If you've watched my vlogs, you'll know that I've missed having a dishwasher for the last 3 years. So amazing, I don't even need to purchase a dishwasher. So I'm very happy. But yeah, kitchen, not massive. We're contemplating removing this door actually, because then we could make some most of this space. There's a little understairs cupboard in here, so a little bit of storage there too. Then we have utility room. So the back door goes out into the garden, and then we've got the utility room, which is just kind of, there is some extra cupboard space in here. The boiler's there. We're going to have a fridge plugged in there that's arriving on Monday. And the washing machine will go in there. And then through this door here is the garage. Oh, it's already unlocked, which is all dark. Let's turn the light on. She says, not being able to find the light one-handed. So this is the garage, which will be my office / dye studio. I mean, the eventual plan is to have this properly converted and have a window and everything put in where the garage door is. But for the moment, I can get my stuff that I currently use for dyeing will probably go in that corner. I'll put like a big Kallax or something to divide the room, and then I'll make this end my office space. It needs a bit of cleaning up. I've got a bit of cobwebs to brush away. I have got some white masonry paint, so I'm just going to whitewash all the walls to brighten it up a little bit until we can afford to convert it. But yeah, that's the garage. Do you want to come out into the garden? I hope I'm not making you seasick. So let's go back out into the garden. Through the kitchen, through the dining room, and out the French doors into the garden. I don't know why I'm talking in a silly voice. So yeah, this is the garden. It's pretty simple at the moment, which is fine by us. But we do have an apple tree just here. There is this big tree in the middle is a plum, which is amazing because obviously we had a plum in our old house and we were going to miss that. And then that is a little apple tree as well. We'll probably put some plants and stuff in as we get chance. But yeah, that's the garden. I will take you upstairs in a second. Right, a quick tour of upstairs as well. The kids are still playing out the front with the friends that they've made. I just had a little chat and met one of my next door neighbours. So this is Arthur's room, which is the smallest room. Spin around a little bit. But we have ordered him a loft bed. So one of these kind of big beds that's got storage and a desk and stuff underneath it. And the plan is that the loft bed will go on that side of the room, and then he'll have a little bit of space on this side of the room for storage and stuff. But the loft bed's got like a wardrobe and all kinds of stuff in it. Go around because I'm talking and you can't see anything.
and I feel like it's a bit of a boring view. Not that my face in my scruffy painting clothes is any better. But yes, so he's getting a loft bed, which will go in here, and we're painting it. So we're going to leave this wallpaper. He wants a rainbow. So what we're doing is we're leaving this wallpaper because it's kind of clouds and sky and stuff, and that's fine. And then this wall behind me, the one by the door, this one here is going to be navy blue. And then it's going to be navy blue up to this masking tape line. And then the remaining walls are going to be grey. But then on this wall here, there's going to be like a big rainbow that comes down kind of diagonally from the top to the bottom, just getting kind of wider as it comes down. So that's the plan. We've been doing our research to try and work out what the best paint to use is. And it turns out, oh, I'm all backlit. It turns out that acrylics are the best paint. So we're going to get the base coats on for the navy and the base coats on for the grey for the rest of the walls. And then we'll do the rainbow later in the week. Then this room is Jazzy's room, which is slightly bigger. Nice little bit of storage. Jazzy is having a geometric design on this wall here. And the rest of the walls are actually probably going to be a similar colour to this, but we just need to refresh and repaint them. And then, what else have we got up here? There is a bathroom. Arthur has already had a bath because we didn't have a bath in our old house, so he's very excited. And then the final room is this one here, which is mine and Tom's room, which is all ready for painting. I'm just waiting for Tom to get back because... Did I mention that he'd gone to get screwdrivers so that we can open the paint tin? We'd left them at home. Or left them at the old house? I don't know. So anyway, he's gone to get screwdrivers to open the paint tin. But I've got this all masked up. Again, we're doing these walls kind of a light grey, and then we're going to be repainting the coloured wall. We haven't quite settled on a colour yet. We're still deciding. We've got a couple of little thingies which we're going to stick up just to give us an idea as to what colours we're going to do. But yeah. That's it. That's a tour of the house. Now I need to get on with some painting.
Right, so here is my workspace now that I've got it all set up. We have an integral garage in the new house that comes off a utility room next to our kitchen, although the utility room is pretty much doubling as a second kitchen because the kitchen is really, really small. But I've painted all the walls white. It has got like an open pitched roof, as you can see, which is not ideal for using it as a proper office and things, but we'll see what happens. We have used it as a little bit of storage. You can just see my grid wall up there. But yeah, I've got this end set up with these are the workbenches that I had in the old garage and the shelves that I had in the old garage. I've popped up a curtain there just because I tend to mix dyes on this table. And it's just like a little protection for my yarn stock, maybe. I shouldn't get too much dye flying around everywhere because I tend to be relatively tidy when I mix stuff, which it doesn't look like on there, does it? But this is because this is where I put my spoons and stuff down. But other than that, I tend to be relatively tidy. I've got a bit of storage space. At the moment, I've just got 2 pans set up. I need to double check the electrics and see if I can get a third set up because that would be really handy. But I'm kind of used to working with 2 pans at the moment, so it's not the end of the world if I can still only get the 2 running. I've popped the bottom of this workbench out just so that I can get my water bucket down there for soaking yarn in. I've got all my spare pans stored underneath. There's a random box which I need to put away because it's got extension cables in it. And then my bucket for soaking. And then down this end of the room, I've got some shelves set up for yarns, like my stock. I need to move this. There's more yarn down there. That's the base of the other workbench, but I don't know where to put it. I don't want to just stick it out in the garden because they don't do very well with water. So I still need to kind of work out somewhere to put it in case I decide I want to use it. I've then got a little work area here. This is quite nice because I've been able to get my skein twister set up there. I've got somewhere that I could use when I'm making minis. And I can also, if I kind of unclip my skein twister, I would be able to use this for my sock machine as well, which is currently in that box labelled fragile. I've got the tumble dryer that doesn't work, my light box, all the Advent yarn, which I need to dye up over the next couple of months. And then packing stuff, yarn that I've started warping, undyed yarn all on this shelf here. I've then got a little table, which is still a bit chaotic from just podcasting, but that's kind of my packing station. I've then got just, again, another set of shelves. Our Hoover, for some reason, has migrated in here. I'm not sure why. It's still not quite exactly how it's going to be, but it's working. And I've managed to get the printer and my label printers set up here, which is really handy for kind of packing. And Tom randomly put up my picture, which I noticed the other day, and I hadn't realised he'd put my picture up. But yeah, that's the space. As I said, we've got a builder coming to have a little look and see about giving us a quote for converting it. What I'd like to do is I kind of want, if I back up, I kind of want to have that space there turned into a room. So we want to have, we'll have the floors done, the ceilings done, the walls done. I want to have the garage door replaced with a window, and then turn this into a room entirely. Pricing wise, I'm not 100% sure whether we'll put in a door here and kind of have these as two completely separate rooms that don't join up. But then this one would be an office / spare bedroom. So when we've got guests staying, we could have the sofa bed in the office, and it would be a nicer space for them to be able to use as well as me to use as an office. Or the other option is that we don't put a door through into the main part of the house, but we have a door that comes through the back room. Because what I want to do is roughly where this curtain is, maybe a little bit smaller. I want to put a dividing wall across to separate the dye area from the office area, and just kind of have the dye area as its own space. I mean, ideally, it would be great to have a wall all the way across and have it as like a separate room, because then if we do come to sell the house in the future, we can kind of advertise it as a storage space, because it won't have any windows or anything like that, but it could be advertised as a storage space, whereas the front room would be its own separate room then, and it would be kind of like a fourth bedroom / office space, but we'll have to wait and see what the builder says. Anyway, I've been rambling on for now. You're going to be ready for me to go. I will update you next time I podcast.